The historical drama Napoleon is a good movie in my opinion. Sure, this one does have some flaws that I thought could have been a little bit better, but at least this one is entertaining for what it is. So based on a true story of Napoleon Bonaparte, which actually depicts his rise to power as a French leader and his relationship with Empress Josephine as well. When I had saw the trailer of this one a few months ago, I was interested. A movie directed by Ridley Scott, I'm in. But after watching the whole thing, I now realize that, well, this film doesn't live up to its fullest potential. And what I mean by that, without giving out any spoilers, I really felt like all throughout this film, there was some missed opportunities in terms of the character development and really just focusing on Napoleon's private life itself, the battles which made him famous in the first place. But honestly, this movie is not a disaster. There are some things I like about it, such as the acting. The action sequences were great, and the music was very good as well. Now, when it comes to the story, no, I don't believe it's Oscar worthy. This could have been one of the best movies of the year, but instead what I found about this film is that, it's average, but it could have been something more. It could have been something really epic. Nonetheless, while this film does have some issues to keep it from being better, it still has some irritating moments to keep it from being an outright dumpster fire. Even though this film is 2.5 hours, honestly, it should have been longer. The reason being is because, well, it doesn't touch upon enough of Napoleon's battles. Like the film clearly states, he fought in 61 battles over the years, but it don't even show even a fraction of that. Would have been more interesting if they showed him losing some of those battles. But honestly, while I did enjoy the battle scenes, I thought they were great. The visuals, the costumes. This film was missing that key ingredient to help it really stand out. Like Ridley Scott, he is a great director. He's actually done some of my favorite movies over the years, such as 1979's Alien, Blade Runner, even Gladiator. The stories in those movies are amazing. But when I went into this one, I was expecting a spectacular adventure. What I got was an average historical movie. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't hate this one. But at the same time, I really noticed this film has some issues. But at least Joaquin Phoenix does a great job playing Napoleon. Seeing this military leader, seeing how serious it is, it actually makes some irritating moments all throughout this one. Ironically enough, this film is funny. Like, I didn't expect this film to have some funny moments, but I definitely had enjoyed those parts of the film. But also, the acting from Vanessa Kirby was great. The chemistry between her and Joaquin Phoenix was, well, it was good. It wasn't like to a point where I thought it was boring. But on the other hand, it's like the other actors, it was alright. This film just didn't do enough to really compel it into being an epic historical film. Like, honestly, I want this one to be a little bit more, but at least it did help my attention. But man, that third act was really, what can I say? The third act could have been so much better. Overall, this film isn't a dumpster fire, but at the same time, this movie doesn't do a whole lot to really help it stand out compared to other films that Ridley Scott has directed throughout the decades. At the end of the day, if you're a fan of Ridley Scott movies and you think about checking this one out, you can. Just don't expect greatness here, to be honest. I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. Now, I did hear that there is a 4-hour director's cut that's going to Apple TV Plus, and when that eventually goes to that streaming service, then I'm definitely going to check it out because there's so much you could do with a 4-hour film compared to a movie that's 2.5 hours. The tagline, "He came from nothing, he conquered everything," is just a terrible marketing ploy if you ask me. Honestly, it doesn't even fit the tone whatsoever in this movie. If anything, this one does have its interesting moments, but it is far from the masterpiece a lot of us was expecting. And that's my review of the film, Napoleon. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie if you have seen it. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.